place, and you Jews, you worship in Jerusalem, but we worship in the mountain. And they were having a discussion about worship, about what worship is. And this evening, or this day of our prayer and fasting, our focus is on reflecting upon our worship or upon our church. Just know that you as an individual, you are a church as well. Are we together? You are part of the body of Christ, so you are part of the church. So we are reflecting upon our worship, upon how we conduct our worship, or how we walk in our worship, or what is our worship. And that's what we are looking at today. Now, one thing that is quite interesting is that in the discussion that Jesus was having with the Samaritan woman, it was an evangelistic conversation. Are we together? It was an evangelistic conversation where they were talking about, getting more and more connected with God. More and more connected with God. And sometimes we think that evangelism is mainly for the outside, but sometimes evangelism is for the church as well. Jesus is talking to a woman who has been to church, who has been in church, who is in the church, and he's talking to him about connecting with God. And I want to challenge you today to say you might be in the church and you've been there for a long time, but it can be possible that you can be in the church and not connect with God. The woman knew about going to the mountain to pray, but she was not connected with God. And you can be having a particular seat that you love to sit in when you walk into the house of the Lord, but still not connect with God. You can connect with the seat and still not connect with God. The woman could connect with the mountain, but she could not connect with God. The woman could connect with every religious system that was happening in the Samaritan culture, but she could not connect with God. What are we saying about reflecting upon your worship? We are saying we want you to reflect to the point of saying, am I really connecting with God? With everything that I'm doing in church, with every serving that I'm doing in church, am I really connecting with God? With the playing of the instruments, am I really connecting with God? With the serving as an usher, am I really connecting with God? You can know every single detail about the church that you are participating in, but without connecting with God, all that is nothing. So the Samaritan woman could explain to Jesus so many things that even Jesus was saying, wow, you are very well informed woman. But one thing for sure is she didn't know whom she was talking to. She didn't know the God that she was worshiping. She didn't know who God was. So tonight we want to take some time to pray as we reflect upon our worship, to say, God, I don't want to be just a statistic in church, but I want to be somebody who connects with you. Are we together? I want to be somebody who can connect with you, whether I'm sitting at the back, whether I'm sitting in the front, whether I'm preaching, whether I'm ushering, whether I'm leading praise and worship. My greatest desire is to connect with you. So the prayer that we are making first and foremost is say, God, teach me how to connect with you, not to connect with chairs, not to connect with instruments, not to connect with the systems of the church, but help me and teach me on how to really